Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Jan Moses, back here with my salary cap lineup builder video for Tuesday, April 15th. Now, in today's episode, we're going to be going over three different lineups. I've been showing off my main two lineups, one that I call the Hero Ball lineup, where I have a player that's 8,000 salary or above, and then I have a second lineup that I call my Team Ball lineup that's a little more diversified. I have my salary more spread out. In today's episode, we have a third lineup, and that one is going to be for everyone out there who's trying to get those agendas done under the salary cap highlight umbrella, in case you're grinding out those agendas for that Galaxy Opal pack. I actually made a pretty fun lineup that I may try in salary cap, but again, I'm not going to prioritize that personally, just given that I have 2,100 more points to grind out and I have 3 days or so to do it. I technically really only have 1 day to do it because I'm going to be busy the rest of the week. So today is my day to hit 2,500 points in round 1 of salary cap before round 2 begins this upcoming Friday. With all that out of the way, let's get into it. Yes, Joakim Noah is better. If you watched the previous episode of the salary cap report from earlier this morning, you might have wondered why Joakim Noah is injured. All I'll say is don't ask questions you don't want answers to, and that he's doing better now. This is my Hero Ball lineup. Again, it technically qualifies as Hero Ball because we have a card in Joakim Noah who's at 8,000 salary. And then we're obviously running Corey Brewer alongside him to make them both Dark Matters and get all of their stat and badges boosted up. Still running Dyson Daniels at the point. However, we're now going to bring in Hakeem Warwick since, as we discussed in that aforementioned salary cap report episode, is now down to 2,000 salary alongside Paolo Banchero, who's also at 2,000 salary, which is incredible. I think this starting five is going to be an absolute blast to run with, assuming I can continue where I left off in the park with Joakim Noah and green shots with rhythm shooting. We'll have to see. What I'm most excited about, though, it's not just this starting five, because this starting five obviously is going to be a lot of fun to run with. It's this bench. I'm back to running my favorite backcourt in all of salary cap this year in my team, which is DeLon Wright and Toumani Camara. So much fun to run. They are just so elite defensively, and if you have to switch them, you can, because DeLon Wright is 6'5", so he can guard slightly taller twos, and because of how good he is defensively, he can more than hold his own on that side of the ball. Toumani Camara, I mean, I ran him on a Saturday in salary cap when he was at 2,000 salary. I don't need to explain much more about Toumani Camara. JT Thor, of all the small forwards that we got in the Amethyst tier in season 5 on Fridays, which I know is like a very, very weird way to categorize players, JT Thor has my favorite jump shot of all of those small forward cards. For whatever reason, the other cards are a little more difficult to green with. JT Thor, we'll see if I have a hard time greening with him now that I'm going to try rhythm shooting again, but he was a player who I really enjoyed taking and making shots with because of how often I would green with him. Jovic, I'm actually not totally sold on. I need to go into shoot around and try out his jump shot. If I don't like it, the beauty of it is he's at 1,200 salary, and there are a number of other power forwards who I could run in his place who are also at 1,200 salary, like Kenneth Farid and I believe Jonathan Mogbo. I'm going to check that out right now. I know Vanderbilt's still at 2,000, which is a little unfortunate. Mogbo is also at 1,200, so we have plenty of options should we, decide to pivot from Nikola Jovic. And then Quinton Post, I'm not going to talk about Quinton Post more than I have to. I already gassed this card up so much. Love Quinton Post. So excited to run him again in salary cap. There wasn't really any way that I can make my lineup work with this 200 additional salary that I had to throw into my 11th and 13th bench spots in Stephon Castle and Tristan Da Silva. These cards are really good. I just have Robert Covington in here just because, if you have an injury, which is how I view these three bench cards here, if I have a player that gets hurt, I need to be able to bring in a card that can at least play a minute or two. Yes, I know Robert Covington as a gold is going to get cooked out there, but if I want to at least buy Hakeem Warwick like a couple of extra minutes, I think Robert Covington can at least do a decent job. He's pretty solid defensively. Another option I could go with if I don't want to bring in Robert Covington, I don't want to spend too much time talking about golds here, but Desanya Diop I think is one of the best gold cards, if not the best gold card in the game, because he has 12 gold badges. Actually, you know what? I just talked myself into this. We're going to go ahead with this and pray that we have no injuries to our small forward position. Maybe I'll make a change later on down the road, but, we have 5 players in our lineup that can play small forward. So hopefully we can make our lineup work one way or the other. We'll have to see. But yeah, this is my hero ball lineup. Really excited to get to run it. We'll see how it performs for us. The team ball lineup, I'm a little less excited about. And I think, honestly, that's because, we'll see. Maybe I'll give them a couple of games to try it out. But Derek Anderson really sort of frustrated me a little bit in the one game that I used this lineup in on Saturday. Now, again, I talked about it in the video that I dropped earlier this morning. I was in a pretty bad mental state with my team on Saturday because of the lag and the frustration I had because of the lag and the way I was playing and the opponents I played against. Everything combined made me really frustrated. And so I feel like I wasn't really thinking too clearly. So I want to be open to giving Derek Anderson another opportunity. But, I'm going to try him out at shooting guard. Again, I don't know if I love this because I don't know if I want Derek Anderson at shooting guard, because with this duo boost, he goes up to, I think in terms of badges, he gets 11 legend badges, and one of those is Legend Dimer, which is great. So we'll see if I have him run a little bit off the ball here, if that'll help, because I love running my offense through Dyson Daniels. He still has, I think, Legend Limitless range, so at least he'll be able to pop off with that, I believe, but we'll have to see. Love Antoine Walker, just got to get better with his jumper. Eddie Curry is probably the other big change with this lineup now, coming in at the center position with only 5,000 salary to his name. That alone makes me kind of interested. This starting 5 is kind of nasty. You have 2 Dark Matters right here boosted up with a combined 15 legend badges. And then you have Eddie Curry, who's arguably the best pink diamond center in this game. Maybe you say he's 1A or 1B with Khalil Ware, but the way I see it for salary cap, Khalil Ware is still at 8K salary, which means you are more than likely not going to be running this card in salary cap anytime soon. The minute he drops to 5K, I'm bringing Khalil Ware back. Until then, I'll be running pink diamond centers with this lineup, such as Eddie Curry, who are at 5,000 salary. The bench, a lot of familiar faces. DeLon Wright, Quentin Post, and Hakeem Warwick were all in my previous lineup. Hakeem Warwick now coming off the bench is the reason why I'm not running AC Law with this lineup, because while I can create with AC Law and stuff like that, I feel like I can create opportunities with my playbook and with my general play style for players like Bilal Coulibaly and Hakeem Warwick, and to an extent Sharif Abdur-Rahim, to just be catch and shoot shooters for me, along with Quentin Post. So the way I view it, my predominant offense is going to be running pick and pop with Quentin Post, working through the post with Quentin Post. I basically use Quentin Post like a budget Nikola Jokic. That's why I love this card so much. He does everything so well for me, and he's not the worst on defense. So yeah, even this lineup, again, a really fun lineup to run. And I always love running a lineup where basically I have all 10 of my main players eating up all of the salary cap that I have available, right? Like, even though I have a salary cap of 22,500 to work with, it's really 21,900 because you need to allocate 600 salary to your 11th, 12th, and 13th men, right? 200 to Tim Legler, 200 to Robert Covington, 200 to Yusuf Nurkic. So yeah, this lineup not too bad. Again, I'm personally leaning more towards running my hero ball lineup, but let me know down below in the comments, which of these 2 lineups would you rather run in salary cap if you were still playing in round 1. Final lineup to show you guys is, as I mentioned, a lineup that you guys could run to get some of these agendas done. And just to show you guys which agendas we're targeting with this lineup, let's go here. So the lineup that I have is going to give you the ability to get this agenda done, this agenda done. I think I gotta go. I think we have a couple of amethysts in that lineup. If not, it's totally fine. This agenda done for sure, and then this agenda done, and then technically, if you're just an absolute monster, this agenda done. Hopefully, if you're winning games, this agenda done. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about right here. I try to take as many of those agendas in mind when I was building this lineup, but here you go. So yeah, I guess if you score with Tumani Kamara, that'll count towards the Ruby and Amethyst point agenda that you have to get done. The reason why I built this lineup the way I did, a few things. First of all, scoring points with signature series cards is going to be the most difficult agenda to get done because you only have a handful of cards to pick from. A lot of them really aren't all that good. And then again, the big thing that I don't think a lot of people are going to be talking about, or at least they won't be keeping in the back of their minds, and I want to keep emphasizing it to you guys, all of these cards, Mario Chalmers, Hassan Whiteside, Jaden Hardy, Marcin Gortat, they should all, if the way the games and the way these promos that we've been getting, rather, the way these promos have been trending in terms of their salary fluctuations every season or every couple of weeks, rather. I am not playing Park right now. I apologize, my friend. Basically, all these cards that come out on Fridays, 8 days after they come out, their salaries are maximized until that next Tuesday. And so Mario Chalmers should be at 5,000 salary on Saturday. Hassan Whiteside should be at whatever the max is for an Opal, whether it's 10K, whether it's 12,500. I don't know what that value is, but he is not going to be at 8,500 salary more than likely. Jaden Hardy and Marcin Gortat, just like Mario Chalmers, should also be at 5K salary a pop. So that means if you were to run Mario Chalmers and Hassan Whiteside on Saturday, you could be running a dynamic duo that, yes, they're both dark matters, but they may combine for 15,000 salary. And even with the salary cap probably going up another 2,000 points on Friday for the beginning of round 2, do you really want to allocate 15,000 salary to an undersized point guard in Mario Chalmers, who, yes, he's really good, but is he worth 5,000? And then 10,000 plus salary to Hassan Whiteside, whose jumper is, I mean, can we call it broken? At the very least, it's bad, right? I don't know if I want to dedicate 15,000 salary to that. And so for that reason, I'd much rather run them today where they're combining for 11,000 salary and not 15,000 salary. Yeah, and then I have 2 other players who I like here. I mean, actually 3 others, right? Tumani Kamara, Hakeem Morik, and Paolo Banchero, 3 cards who are in my other 2 salary cap lineups. They've made it into this one because I need to have players who I can trust to hit shots and play elite defense to help carry me when I'm running 4 signature series cards. Now, again, if you're wondering why I have all these gold cards, one of the agendas mentions winning a salary cap game, I believe, or at least playing a game. Is it win or is it play? It's win. You need to win a salary cap game with at least 6 players. So will you win a game with this lineup? I don't think so. You're effectively running a 7-man rotation. And your 2 guys coming off the bench aren't exactly the most exciting players to run. And the other problem with the set that I'm kind of realizing now is if you bench, like, I guess you would have to bench Mario Chalmers and Hassan Whiteside at the same time. I would not want to run either of them without their counterpart in for the duo. So, yeah, you're going to be replacing Chalmers with Jaden Hardy and Whiteside with Gortat. Kamara, Hakeem Morik, and Paolo Banchero are playing the Tom Thibodeau special, a full 48 minutes, basically, or however long your salary cap game ends up going for. So, yeah, it's not going to be easy to win with this lineup, but if anything, you can, at the very least, try to hopefully get a win. If you just get 1 win with this lineup, you'll get your gold win done, and then you'll hopefully score enough points with these players to make, you know, the next couple of games you play, even if they end up being losses, not that painful because you'll be able to get the signature series agenda set done. Even talking through it, guys, I'm just seeing how stupid the reward of a Galaxy Opal for all these agendas is. It's so much work to get that agenda set done for a freaking Galaxy Opal that's going to probably be Derrick Rose, man, or Jalen Brunson's mic drop card. So frustrating. But yeah, anyways, that's all I have for you guys. I guess, you know, I talked about earlier in this episode, I wanted your guys' opinion on which lineup you would run between these 2. How would you make this lineup better? How about that? Because I'm more than likely going to run with this lineup anyways. Sorry, this lineup, because this lineup really excites me, and I want to see if I can get back to greening with Joakim Noah after what I did with him on Sunday in the park, which was a lot of fun. But let me know, how would you guys improve this lineup? Because again, with this lineup, you have your 6 gold, you have 4 signature series cards, and I have them personally at positions that I tend to score with the most. Not just score, because I score and I get assists with my point guards. I score, I get assists, and I rebound with my centers. And so I have 2 of each of those cards in this lineup. Let me know what you would do to maximize, to optimize this lineup to get that agenda set done as painlessly as possible. Appreciate you guys. Until next time, I'll see you later.